Yo, what's going on, guys? Welcome back to a brand new video on the channel. Inside of today's video, it is the first day of sneak peeks and we're going to be covering the balance changes. So in these balance changes, there are 5 buffs and 3 nerfs, so the meta may change a little bit from these balance changes. I'll be giving you guys all of my thoughts with these changes. So before we get into today's video, make sure you're using the create code in the shop. That'd be greatly appreciated. And without further ado, let's jump into today's video. Alright guys, so going into the first balance change, we're starting off with the buffs and probably the most noticeable one to begin with. So the first one is going to be Darryl. So Darryl has received a baseline buff. So just like the Mortis called Snake change, you can see on the screen right here, we're using the rolling reloaded star power and we actually have a baseline steel hoops, which is pretty cool with Darryl. So at all points, you're going to be having that steel hoops whenever you roll, which is a really nice change. And we also have a rework to the steel hoops star power. So just like called Snake, it has a rework. So Darryl now takes 25% less damage for 2 seconds after his roll has been completed. So not the largest amount of damage reduction, but it's still a nice change. Hopefully Darryl might become meta with his changes. Alright guys, so next up we have another buff and it's going to be El Primo. So El Primo has had quite a significant buff here. So his super charge rate used to be 16 punches or hits, which obviously got nerfed quite a bit from when he used to be like the best brawler in the game. You know, he was the most dominant for a long time, ever since I had that rework with the tanks, but then he completely went from like the best brawler into the game to one of the worst brawlers in the game, which we've never really seen in competitive too much. But right now Primo, he's going to be in a good state. So he's gone from 16 hits to 12 hits to get his super, which I feel like it's going to be a huge difference. Beforehand, 16 hits, I just used to think it used to just take so long to get his super. Like before, you could cycle so easily. So I feel like this might be a good balance and it might finally bring Primo back into the light a bit. Alright guys, so next up we have Squeak. So Squeak has received a quite sizable damage buff with the next update. Of course, Squeak not really been in the meta whatsoever since his release. He's been kind of underrated, but still, I just feel like he has such a slow reload speed. He really struggles in this type of meta. So his main attack damage has been increased. So I've done this in Power 9 and Power 11 format. I don't imagine too many people having Squeak Power 11, but I just thought I'd do it for the numbers. So in Power 9, he's gone from 1,400 to 1,512. This is without the damage star power, by the way, if you guys are wondering. And also Power 11, he's gone from 1,500 to 1,620. So it is a big damage increase, and especially if you have that star power at Power 11, he's going to be doing 1,782 damage, which is nearly 2,000 damage, which considering is quite easy to hit his shots. Of course, he has a slow reload speed and can be obviously can get countered to aggro brawlers, but I feel like this is going to be a nice change to him, especially if you get him to Power 11. Alright guys, so going into the next buff, we're going to be heading into Gale. So Gale, I thought he'd received a different type of buff, but we've actually gone for this super damage buff for Gale. So I don't think it's going to really impact him at all in the meta, to be honest. So these are going to be the numbers for Power 9 and Power 11. So Power 9, his super damage has gone from 588 to 700, so just like a 100 increase, not really a lot. And then Power 11 is gone from 630 to 750. So to be honest, really disappointed with this change, because Gale has been one of the least picked brawlers in the game for quite a while now, and one of the worst brawlers in the game. I actually ranked him as one of the worst in my recent videos, so I don't think this is going to increase his rankings whatsoever, unfortunately, but we'll have to wait and see. Alright guys, to finish off the buffs for this update, we have a Gale. So Gale again has got a super damage increase, which again quite surprising. I wonder why they've gone down this route with Gale, but anyways, this is quite a sizable difference. I feel like this actually might help him a bit in the meta. So in terms of Power 9, he's gone from 336 damage with his super to 588, so that's nearly well, getting close to like a double increase there. Then Power 11, it's going from 360 damage to 630 damage, which when you think about it, that's actually quite a lot, especially if you're chaining those supers. You can actually finish off a lot of kills with a super with Gale, which again, it's not going to make the biggest difference in the meta, but I feel like it will be a noticeable change. Alright guys, so now moving into the nerfs with the next set of balance changes. We're going to be starting off with Lola. So as you can see on the screen right now, Lola's clone now, if used right next to her, will only do 50% of their damage. Well, obviously that she does. So you can see by the radius, you know, it's quite a small radius, but you can see that the Lola clone does turn smaller, which is quite a funny effect. I just thought I'd notice that. Then obviously you can see once it gets bigger, it's going to be doing the full 100% damage. So this is going to encourage players to obviously try and use a clone a little bit further away from Lola. I don't think this is going to be enough. Of course, they can increase the radius if they still feel like Lola's a little bit broken, but I still feel like the 50% damage can still be really strong for Lola. And just overall, like, Lola's just just been so strong for a long while. I feel like her stats just overall are pretty broken. We'll have to wait and see what this nerf does. Let me know down in the comment section below what you think of this one. I think it's an interesting change. Okay, so next up with the nerf, we have Torro. Her gadget, Support from Beyond, has been nerfed. So before, pets used to have 1000 HP per pet. She used to have, well, she has 3 of them, of course, and now it's been nerfed to 800 HP per pet. So I think this is a welcome change. Of course, this gadget just used to be really frustrating for a long time now. I feel like they should have addressed this a lot sooner, but it's still a welcome change. Of course, like the disbalance between the gadgets, everyone just used Support from Beyond unless it was like a really bushy map, and still I feel like people would still use this gadget. So of course it's going to be a welcome change, and you're going to be able to destroy those pets a little bit easier. All right guys, so moving into the final nerf with the balance changes, I feel like this was going to be a really interesting one. So Sandy has gone from a 6 supercharge rate hit to 7 now, which is just insane. You would think not too long ago Sandy only took 5 shots to get his super. Now it takes 7. So of course, it's going to make a huge impact in the meta, in my opinion. I still feel like Sandy with the speed gear is pretty broken, just especially on grassy maps like Sneaky Field. I just feel like the movement and just the ability to shoot around walls is still going to make Sandy a good pick on these maps, but maybe not as OP as before. But I'm hoping for a speed gear nerf, which could really see Sandy completely out of the meta once that is finally hit. It might, well, there obviously hasn't been any nerf to speed gear yet, but I think in the future there will be some changes definitely to some gears. So maybe in the future Sandy might be removed out of the meta, but as I said, I still feel like it's going to be pretty strong. Speed gear, just pretty insane with it. Alright guys, that's going to be it for today's video. Let me know what you think of the balance changes in the comment section below. To be honest, I don't think the meta is going to change up too much. There's some nice nerfs with Sandy and Lola, which I do like. I really like the Darryl rework there. Darryl obviously not really getting most love for a long while now. Hopefully we'll get some star power buffs as well in the future for him, because his overall kit is just pretty weak. But yeah, some okay changes. To be honest, a lot more could have been changed, but hopefully there will be some more balance changes in the future. But yeah, that's going to be it for today's video, guys. Hope you enjoyed. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time.